Some legends, they aren't just cautionary tales whispered around a fire. Sometimes they're blueprints for something totally new, and honestly, something terrifying. In this explainer, we're going to dive into how a classic ghost story got reforged into a modern, philosophically rich epic. For hundreds of years, this is the story we've all known. The tale of Stingy Jack and his lantern, right? A simple little fable about a cursed soul doomed to wander forever. It was a warning, a lesson about what happens when you're greedy and deceitful. But to really get a handle on the monster he becomes, we first have to peel back the layers of the man and the legend he was born from. So let's do a quick recap of the story you think you know. Okay, so meet our guy, Stingy Jack, a notorious liar, a drunk, and a master manipulator. He wasn't loyal to a king or a god or, well, anyone but himself. His whole life was basically a monument to looking out for number one. And this guy's cunning, it was legendary. So legendary, in fact, that he famously outsmarted the devil himself. Not once, but twice. First, with a coin and a crucifix, he basically buys himself another 10 years of life. Then, a decade later, he does it again with an apple and a carved cross. And this time, he makes the devil promise to never claim his soul. But here's where the story gets its classic, ironic twist. When Jack finally kicks the bucket, his sinful life means heaven's doors are slammed shut. And because of that promise he wrangled, hell won't take him either. He won the game, but in doing so, he tricked himself into having nowhere to go. And that's where the story usually ends, right? The moral is pretty straightforward. A life built on tricks and selfishness leads to an empty, lonely eternity. A soul without goodness can't find a home. It's a chilling, cautionary tale. But what if that whole way of looking at it is completely wrong? And then you get this one line, and it just shatters everything. This was the language of slaves. All of a sudden, morality, punishment, goodness, it's not a universal law anymore. It's a cage. And Jack is the one being who refuses to be locked inside. And that right there, that's the pivot point. This is the absolute core of this new myth, where the story asks this wild question. What if being cast out wasn't a punishment at all? What if it was the ultimate form of liberation? See, out there in that twilight space between worlds, Jack didn't find loneliness. He found a cosmic blank slate. With no heaven judging him and no hell trying to claim him, he realizes, hey, none of those old dead laws of reward and punishment, they just don't apply to me out here. And this is the really terrifying idea he lands on. Total rejection wasn't an end. It was the perfect foundation for total self-creation. Think about it. If you don't belong anywhere, you can become anything. A soul that's been cast out of the system can become its own system. Okay, so you've got this new philosophy, this radical freedom. What happens when this completely unbound soul stumbles upon a source of real power? Well, this is the moment of apotheosis. This is the spark that's going to light the inferno. So, out there in that nothingness, Jack finds something. He finds the leftover energy of a fallen seraph, an angel that was, well, unmade, because it also rejected the suffocating rules of its home, a kindred spirit, defined by that same defiance. And this is the big moment, the critical choice. The dying angel actually offers him a way back, wisdom, repentance, a return to order. A lesser soul might have jumped at the chance, but Jack, nah. He refuses. He doesn't ask. He doesn't bargain. He just consumes it. He seizes the potentiality itself. And the result? Whoa. It's staggering. That little burning coal the devil gave him, the symbol of his curse, it just erupts into this magnificent green inferno. His lantern isn't just a light anymore. It's a weapon. It's a conduit for raw, untamed power that doesn't just burn flesh. It burns concepts. And just like that, the transformation is done. The wandering spirit we knew as Stingy Jack, he's a ghost to the past. In his place, something way more powerful, a new kind of God, begins to rise. Now, the source material has a perfect term for him, a corrupted Ubermensch. And really, it's about a being who creates their own values. He's overcome not just his enemies, but the cosmic laws that tried to chain him down. He didn't pick a side between good and evil. He just decided they were beneath him, rising above them through pure, ferocious will. And of course, when you become a god, you get some new titles. He's not stingy anymore. That pitiful name is gone. Now he's Jack Sovereign, the monstrum unbound, the lantern wolf, the fire that refuses, the predator of the absolute. These are just names, they're statements of purpose. And here's the kicker. That insatiable greed he had as a mortal, it didn't go away. Oh no, it's been supercharged, scaled up to a cosmic level. He's not collecting coins anymore, he's collecting debts. Cosmic, mystical, karmic, you name it, they all answer to him now. And that lantern of his is always hungry. So this really gets to the philosophical heart of what this new being is. He doesn't operate on a moral spectrum that you or I could even begin to understand. He is, for all intents and purposes, post-moral. I mean, this quote from the source just nails it. He's not some villain fighting heroes. He's a predator of the absolute. He's a higher being, and to him, our entire concept of right and wrong is just a petty binary. He's on a whole other level, operating purely on self-directed will. So at the end of the day, that's what he's become. He's not a ghost, he's not a demon. He is the living, breathing manifestation of one terrifying idea, that a will strong enough and ruthless enough can literally burn away the rules of existence and forge its own destiny. And that's the question this whole reimagined legend leaves you with, isn't it? It's a really chilling thought. What happens when a man simply refuses to be damned and has the sheer force of will to make that refusal stick? Well, the story of Jack Sovereign suggests the answer is something both magnificent and truly, truly terrifying.